everybody! Today I'll be showing you guys how to create a layered map on Tableau. Currently I am working with Gallup's 12 employee engagement questions. Specifically, I will be looking at employee strengths in correlation with the sales teams and their intentions to stay. So far, we've been able to connect to the data, link data tables, and create our first visualization, which is what we are currently looking at, a bar graph. So the first thing we're going to want to do is create a new worksheet on our map. On the lower left-hand side of the screen, next to sheet 1, there's a couple of different options. You've got new dashboard, new story, and new worksheet. For this step, we're going to want to select new worksheet, which is the first option. Once again, you have 3 options at the bottom of the left-hand side of the screen: new dashboard, new story, or new worksheet. We're going to select new worksheet. Now that we are on this new sheet, the first thing I want to point out is the Show Me tab on the upper right hand side of the screen. Here, there are several options for how to present your data, but for this project, we'll be working with the options for the maps. To get our map onto the screen, the first thing we're going to do is to go to the left hand side, scroll down on the table section, and drag latitude to the columns and longitude to the rows. We are now going to go back to the Show Me section and double click on the symbols map. The nice thing about this feature is that it gives the criteria to create a proper map at the bottom. We now have 2 out of the 3 requirements for a symbols map. To get the final requirement, we are now going to go back to the table section and drag state to the mark section, which is right next to it. This gives us a more geographically focused map. In some projects, you may have to customize it, which is where the drop-down arrow comes handy. We are now ready to insert our data. Our next step is to drag intentions to stay to the same marks area as we did with the state. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the strengths. Making sure that our data is based on the average instead of the sum, we can click on the drop-down arrow, hover over measure, and then select average. There are lots of different options, but for this project, the average will give us the best looking results. As we can see on the screen, that this has had no change on the map yet. Next, we are going to work through filtering our data. Scroll up to the top of the table section and drag department to the filter section. You will get a pop-up where you can select which departments you want to work with. There are advanced options to filter it, and if you're working with large sets of data, you can also choose to filter data by excluding it instead of selecting. Go ahead and select your preferred data, which for me is sales department, and click OK. We can now see a change on our map. That being said, we can start to customize it and make it make sense and be presentable. The first thing I'm going to do is to change the map is change the title. By double clicking on sheet 2, you will have the option to do so in this pop-up box. I'm going to go ahead and name it Sales Teams by State. It's important to not have too long of a title. In here, you can also customize it by making it bold, italicizing it, changing the fonts, or underlining it. Once you have your preferred title, you can hit OK. Next, there's a couple of different things we can do to make the points on the map make sense. I'm going to go to Intentions to Stay, click on the icon on the left of it. There's an option to present the data by color, but you can also do bullet points. However, for this set of data, since our range is so small, it does not work as well, and it's hard to tell the difference between the sizes of the points on the map. Personally, for intentions to stay, I'm going to set it as text, so I can see the average on the map. For strengths, I'm going to select color. On this option, you have the chance to further customize it by selecting color, edit colors. There's lots of different advanced options, but we're going to keep it simple by choosing a color palette. There's lots of different color palettes, but I'm going to go ahead and click red. Once you have your color, make sure to click OK. Now you can see how both of our selections have been layered on the map. There's also a legend for the shade of red on the right-hand side where you can see the states with lower rates are lighter and the states with higher rates of their strengths are darker red. Make sure you don't forget to hit save and you have your layered map on Tableau.